Do you consider yourself an introvert or an extrovert?
I consider myself an ambivert. I am super extroverted with people I'm comfortable around.
Okay.
But I love my alone time.
What's something you like to do in your alone time?
Mostly play video games. Yes.
Wait!
Dance Journey!
With Tracy in LA. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to my podcast, Dance Journey. Today we have Kaycee Tacata. What a wonderful
name. That's what my third grade teacher used to sing.
Okay, I literally, because her Instagram says Kaycee Camille, so I had to ask her to remind me of her last name, and then she started singing Hakuna Matata to help me remember it, and I was like, that kind of helps me, except Matata isn't Takata, so actually it's kind of confusing.
Yeah. Kaycee Tacata.
Kaycee Tacata. So today we have Kaycee Tacata, and yeah, we have lots of fun stuff I think we're going to talk about. I met Kaycee kind of recently-ish. I don't know, when does Unbound season start? I forgot.
I think... What summer? I think so. The season started in February.
Yeah, okay.
February.
So, yeah, we've known each other for a bit.
Yeah.
But we were in Jess Keen's crazy piece for LA Unbound.
Yes.
Kaycee had a huge part in it.
I did. I'm so glad Jess trusted me, but it was a push. Jess's choreo, love you, Jess, is amazing, but definitely a push.
Yeah.
It was so good.
Yeah. It made me feel better that everybody felt like it was a push and it wasn't just me.
No,
so
same.
we were all in it together, just like hanging on for dear life. But it was such a cool piece, and your part was just like, you like started it and ended it.
Yes.
You were kind of the main focus, and it actually was so fun to watch you. You just like had this nice like emotion going.
Thank you. I was
really
terrified.
beautiful.
Oh my gosh. And Jess trusted me with this like worm thing, this worm move that I mean, I got it, but every single time I did it in my brain, I was like, I actually don't know if I'm going to do this right now. Because it was just so, it's nothing like I've done before. And I'm glad I did it.
Wow.
I got through it.
That's something I like about Jess is that she's the
trusts
type
you.
that's like, oh, you'll get it by the time we perform.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I've worked with other choreographers who are like, if you don't have it in the first 5 seconds they teach you, they're like, let's cut it out.
Yeah, they're like, okay, let's try something else. But Jess is more like, you know, I believe in you guys. We'll get it as we go.
Yeah.
And we all did. Like,
Yeah.
everybody did. So I'm glad
Yeah.
she has that mindset when she choreographs, because it was really good.
It's really fun to work with her. It's like, I've grown a lot from that.
Oh,
so that
yeah,
was really
same.
cool. But yeah, we met, but I don't even think we talked in the beginning. I think it was more towards the end-ish.
Yeah.
But I remember one of the first times we talked at rehearsal, and I just remember thinking, she is so nice. You were just like
thank
so
you.
nice. I think you came over and started talking to me, because like this was my first, this was only your second time doing
This
Unbound?
is my second Unbound season. My first one was the Nutcracker, though, so it was a little bit different, but yeah.
You did the Christmas one.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, because
Was this
like
your first?
this was my first.
Oh.
Yeah. So
Okay.
it was kind of I got to know people pretty quickly, but then some people I remember I didn't even know, sometimes Jess, because I take a lot of classes with Jess, so sometimes she would like say someone's name, and I think I didn't even know what your name was for a while.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, who's that? I don't know who that is.
Oh, no, it's because she would keep saying, like, Kaycee, Tracy, and I didn't know, and then we both go, you?
Who are you talking to?
You, me? Yeah.
But at one point we had one part where we were kind of next to each other, so I was looking for you. I'm kind of new to having to do formations because I haven't performed a lot.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, gotta find Kaycee. Where is she? I'm next to her.
I think my first memory of you, though, was, I think it was either the first or second rehearsal during Jess where she made us do the across the floor to kind of like see where everyone was at. And I don't know, I think we were standing next to each other or something, but that was the first time I was like, oh, Tracy, like that's Tracy. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember that. That was fun. And sort of intimidating, like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Like one of our first rehearsals, she's like,
Across the
she
floor,
kind of
one
had
by
us do
one.
across the floor with this little combo just to see like what, I thought that was really smart though.
Yeah.
To see what our kind of, what kind of things we were better at or just to figure out where to put people.
Yeah.
So that was really cool. Yeah, so that was a fun experience. That's how we met. We are going to talk about the class
Oh, yes.
we took.
Right now.
Should we do that now? Yeah,
Yes.
let's do that now. We'll talk more about LA Unbound because I feel like there's a lot to talk about with that.
Yes, for sure.
But that was how we met, and I just thought she was really sweet, and I think we just followed each other on Instagram, and you know how it goes. But yeah, so we took Shelby Fletcher's class today.
My first time.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
What was your Okay, haven't you been wanting to try her class for a while?
I have been, yeah.
Okay.
Ever since I think I met Jess, because I met Jess during Nutcracker season, and she posts all the time when she goes, and I was like, oh, that looks like a really fun class, but I'm very easily intimidated, and Jess is like an amazing dancer. I was like, oh, I don't know if I can do that, and also it's just like I've been wanting to go, but Millennium is just like it's like less accessible to me just because I live all the way out in Azusa.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and the parking just sucks here, so that kind of like steers me away. But I've been wanting to try Shelby's class. And I think it's just been like time that like I haven't been able to, especially during the dance season. I haven't been able to, and then I'm more drawn to go out to the studio closer to me over there. So yeah.
Is Offstage closer to you?
Yes, I mean technically it's the same distance, but I hit less traffic going that direction, and they have a parking lot.
Sometimes that's all it takes.
Yeah.
That was like, did you ever take class at Edge?
No, I haven't taken that. Where's that one at?
It closed down during the pandemic.
Oh, no.
But it used to be like a really amazing studio in Hollywood, West Hollywood. But they had a great parking lot situation. And it was like all lit up.
Yeah.
And you did get like a ticket like to park, but they would validate all of them, so it was free.
Nice.
And that was so nice. And when I had to switch to Millennium, I was like really missing that.
Yeah.
Now I'm kind of used to it. I have certain spots because the more you come, you like kind of figure out certain spots you like to park. But yeah, it's rough, especially at first.
I've only taken a few classes at Millennium, but when I did, I used to park on a street over, and I was getting away with it. And then I think after like my 6th time, someone was like, you know, you're not allowed to park here. And I was like, I didn't know that I was allowed to park there. But I was like, oh, and then after that, I was like, dang, that was like the only place I knew where to park at. Like, I don't know where to go now.
I had a similar experience because actually I always used to park where we're parked right now, which is well, anyway, it's in a residential, I don't need to explain it to you guys, but it's in a residential area near Millennium, and I always parked there, and then all of a sudden they put up these signs that were like, can't park here after 6 p.m. There's some streets that always had signs like that, but I found a street that didn't have signs like that, so when I took night classes...
I was on one of those classes, one of those parking streets, yeah.
Yeah, so I was like... all of a sudden a new sign was up in my area to park that was like can't park after 6, and I was like, what am I gonna do now? And then I had to rethink it all and figure it out. Most of the time I come during the day now, so it's fine, but the other day I came at night and it was like trying to find a meter because I'm not used to having to find a meter.
I think it's because I can only come after. I usually, like, when I did come to classes here, it was always after work because I work full time, so parking here is like atrocious, like after 6 p.m. It's so hard. Everyone's coming home.
Yeah.
Everyone's out. So
It's like the amount of people that are inside Millennium, I'm like, where are all these people parked?
Yeah. I mean, I also asked myself
know.
that because there's a lot of studios in there, and like the main ones are huge. So I'm like, and they're always full.
They're
so I'm
packed.
like, where are you guys
And
parking?
I'm like, where are these people walking for 20 minutes? Like, I don't know where everybody's parked, but I do somehow find something every time, so it works. But it is rough for sure.
The class.
Yeah, the class. I'm gonna let her run it. She's good.
The parking tangent. Sorry.
But yeah, so Shelby's class. So how did you feel walking into the studio today? Were you like nervous?
I was super nervous. Oh my gosh. We briefly just talked about this anyways, but like I just go whenever I go to Millennium, especially because it's just like such a well-known studio, like everyone goes there. I go in with like pretty low confidence, and that's something I'm working on. I'm working on it. It's getting better, I swear. But I was super nervous, and like like going into it, it was a pretty full class, I feel like, and everyone, you could tell, like knew each other, has been to Shelby's classes a lot, and I've seen Shelby's choreo, which is both helpful and terrifying, because like, okay, I know what to expect, but also like I know what to expect, like like it's good. So I went into it like pretty nervous, but I picked up better than I thought I would. Definitely.
She killed it.
Oh, thank
she did
you.
So good. Yeah.
I have such a hard time with choreo retention. I only think I've gotten better at it because of this last Unbound season, but I surprised myself today. There was definitely things like watching back the video right now before we started. Like I was like, okay, like if I could do this again, like I know like this is where I would like probably work on. And I guess that's the benefits of coming to like round 1 and round 2. This was the last time she was doing the combo
This was
today.
her round 3 and Kaycee's round 1, so she especially killed it,
thank you. Yeah, it felt like we went through it pretty fast, but I really liked the structure of her class. I like that we got to do like we broke it down half, and then like we had time for like a lot of groups.
Yeah.
So that was nice, and that's like really helpful. But I think it was great. I had so much fun. The combo was beautiful, and there was like parts that like I was like, okay, I can get this, and other parts where I was like, okay, this is a challenge, but like I feel like if I practice it more, I can get it, and I think I would give myself a B. If I had to grade myself, I would give myself a B. But
I'm gonna start asking people like, how would you grade yourself?
Yeah.
I have never said it like that, but that's hilarious.
like B minus.
B minus, no way.
But it was so much fun. It was really, really fun. I'm definitely gonna come back. It's just like schedules and stuff. But yeah,
I would definitely have given you way higher than a B minus. Definitely, especially because it was round 3. You get an A. Maybe if you came around 2, it would be like A plus because you would get a couple things you're working on. But I thought you killed it. It was so fun. And yeah, what Kaycee was saying about the half, she like divides the class in half so you have more space because like a lot of her choreo is very like acrobatic and takes a lot of space. So she divides the class in half even when she wasn't done teaching the whole piece yet, just to give us like more space, which is nice. And then once she does teach a piece, she actually divided it a lot. So like 4 groups so that you have a a lot of space. And then even after that, she does more groups. And I don't know how they fit all of that in. These teachers are really good at figuring out, like, because we still like, she still took time to teach it, and we still like learned, like, got to dance a lot, but then there's also lots of time for groups somehow. I'm like, this, I don't know how they do this with the time.
Because it felt really fast, but we got through it a lot. Like, we went through a lot of groups, and so, like, that's how I feel anytime I go to any class, though. I'm like, I don't know how you guys are structuring it, but good job.
Yeah, they really have it down. So Shelby's an amazing teacher. I've now taken her for, like, a few months or so.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, I've been really loving her class, and she's just such an encouraging, like, sweet person as well, and so I feel it's like less, even though her choreo challenges me a lot, because like I know she's so nice, like I don't feel as scared. I'm like, it's gonna be fine. But some of the people in the class are
mind blowing,
very good.
Oh my gosh.
And it's inspiring and intimidating because she does do an improv part across the floor, just like a little short one. And I need to practice improv at home more. Every time she's like, and now our improv, I'm like, oh crap, I meant to practice.
Yeah.
I meant to do improv at home and I forgot again.
It's also hard to improv when you don't know the song.
That's actually true.
Whenever it's improv and I know the song, I feel like I can go into it with like a little bit more like quality.
Yeah.
But when I don't know the song, like I don't know what I'm trying to hit, you know,
That's
the
true.
vibe. So I didn't know the song during today's
Yeah.
improv, and I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. Right
You
now.
actually looked really nice, though.
Oh, thank you.
I do get what you're saying, because like if I'm at home practicing improv, I'm usually picking songs I really like.
Yeah.
Maybe I should practice
Random
just
song.
random
Yeah.
songs. Actually,
I think that's probably
a good point.
yeah.
Actually. Okay, yeah. So that was really fun.
I'll be back.
Oh, good. Yay! Even though how long does it take you to get here?
40 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, with no traffic. There's no traffic today, so it took me about a little bit over 40 minutes. Yeah.
It actually took. I'm house sitting right now, and it took me almost 40 minutes. Usually, it takes me more like 25, but because I live in Pasadena. But
Oh, nice.
okay, cool. So, Kaycee, let's talk about what your dance. Does your dance life? Does it look calm now that LA Unbound is done, or what does it look like right now?
Right now, currently, I'm probably just taking classes here and there. I'm trying to go at least once a week, but I'm also like on a fitness journey right now. So I've been also taking like Legree classes and like Pilates and gym and stuff like that.
Wait, what is Legree?
So Legree, good question.
I've heard of it, I think.
Yes.
But...
So Legree and Pilates are similar, but the machines are a little bit different. And basically, Pilates is low impact, low intensity, and Legree is low impact, high intensity.
Oh.
So, similar, but just a lot harder in terms of like the intensity and how many, like, I don't know, like it's just harder. It's so hard.
But it's kind of similar where there are like spaces set up with a bunch of machines.
Yes, yeah. So you get your own machine when you come in, and then they basically start with like a core workout. You do full body every single time you go in, but you start with a core, and then they move into like legs and glutes, and then they'll move into some upper body, and then they'll usually end with core again. And it's like a 45-minute class, and it's been so hard. But I've been going once a week for a month now, and I
Wow.
feel like my core has felt so much
that's awesome.
stronger. Yeah, and I feel like it's been helping me with dance classes too. Like I can feel like my balance and like strength and like being able to pull myself up a lot more. So that's been nice.
That's amazing. I know I've heard Pilates is really good for dancers. I haven't been able to.
It's expensive.
Even when I had the money, my dance schedule was so crazy,
Yeah.
and now I am kind of rough with the money right now. But I would like to. I actually have never. I've only done mat Pilates. I want to try like the machine.
Yeah, like a reformer
I
machine.
even had an old roommate that was like trying to build her hours and told
wow.
me she could. And back then, I don't know. I was just busy and I never did it. I'm like, Tracy, what were you thinking? You could have gotten like free Pilates. Now I need
Well,
that
it's
to
so
happen
big
again.
now too. It's like, dang, I
know,
should have
I'm
like taken advantage.
I know.
of it.
I look back and I'm like, what was I thinking? Why did I not take advantage of that? But anyway, that's amazing. Yeah, I really think it's so, especially for some of these crazy contemporary classes, to
Yeah.
have that kind of strength that you're building. That's really cool. But during LA Unbound, during this last LA Unbound season, obviously it was only your second one.
Yes.
How did you actually hear about LA Unbound?
From Yari, my good friend Yari. Hey Yari, if you're watching.
Hi, everyone. So I wanted to tell you about my new book, The Tracy in LA Newsletters 2010. This is my very first memoir. There will be more. It's not like a normal memoir where you're looking back on your life and reflecting on it and writing a book about it. It's more like a memoir in real time. So basically, when I very first moved to LA to pursue acting, which was in 2009, I decided I was going to write these like monthly newsletters where I sent out actual letters in the actual mail to a bunch of my friends every month to give them updates on what I was doing with acting and jobs and friendships and all kinds of things that I was going through my very first time ever living in LA. It ended up being pretty humorous, and so I've basically gone back and edited them so that I could publish them as a book. So that's what this is, and yeah, if you want to be entertained and have a good laugh, buy my book, or if you just want to help me pay my rent next month. Oh, and you can get it on Amazon. The Tracy in LA Newsletters 2010 by Tracy Nicole. Nicole is my middle name. Also, there's a link in my Instagram bio. You can get it paperback or on Kindle.
Yari introduced me to it because we came from the same Filipino American student organization
Okay,
at our
I saw
college.
that on your Instagram.
Yeah, so we were in FOSTA together. We did a couple PCNs together, and we've grown to be like really, really close friends.
Cool.
And then after she was doing Unbound during PCN, which is insane. Like, imagine like PCN time commitment is really crazy on top of like an LA Unbound time commitment. I don't know how she did it. Yari, you are amazing.
Wait, now I was looking at your PCN stuff on your Instagram because you guys do a show as well.
Yes.
Is that what it is? Is it a dance thing?
Similar.
Okay.
So PCN, oh my gosh,
And
I
it's
love talking about
Filipino culture.
Yeah, Philippine Cultural Night.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's PCN. It's for CSUN's Filipino organization, and it's an annual show that we do where there's basically cultural dances,
Okay.
and then we also do one contempt piece, one modern piece, which is like hip hop, and then there's a student script that's written around it. So I was actually PCN coordinator last year, which is like my baby. So like basically I got to kind of develop this whole entire show, and I
Wow.
led I had a cast of 75 people, and then I chose a creative team of people who helped me teach dances of like 15 people. And last year our script was about the Filipino American like immigrant experience, and like having to find like self-love in like your identity with that, like being
Wow.
yeah, and it was an amazing thing. But tangent, sorry, but
No,
yeah.
had you been in it a while before you became the coordinator?
Yeah.
Had you done it the other years?
Yes, that I had done PCN twice before. My first one was the first one out of COVID, which was really crazy because we barely had 30 people.
Okay.
And so it was a really hard experience. And then the second year we had more people, and that was my first time teaching a cultural dance. And then last year I was able to lead the whole entire show because
Wow.
after my first one I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. It was like combining my like passion for dance with also like my pride in like my culture,
Yeah.
and being able to combine that oh my gosh, it was like super surreal, beautiful experience that like is so dear to my heart. But that's how I met Yari, because my second PCN was her first PCN.
Okay.
So and then from then we've been besties.
Wow. And then, okay, I know we are going to talk about LA Unbound, but what were you studying in college?
Oh, I was a marketing major, so I
was a marketing major too.
Oh, hey!
Hey.
So I got my bachelor's in marketing, but I'm actually starting school this August for my master's.
Oh, nice.
In entertainment industry management.
Oh, cool.
So I'm super excited about that. Yeah.
And then but you have a job now, right?
Yes.
And can you talk about that?
Yeah, it's okay. So I like my position. Don't really like my industry right now, just because I know what my end goal is. My end goal is like to work in entertainment.
Okay.
But right now I work for a roofing company as a business development marketing coordinator.
Oh, wow.
Long title.
Okay.
Per. But that's what I do now, and it's been like a lot of like graphic design, email marketing, stuff like that. But I'm transitioning right now. Like I'm trying to transition at least, especially because I'm starting school. I'd like to break into the industry soon. So I've been applying to like new jobs and
Nice.
internships and stuff like that. But yeah.
Wow. Okay, that's cool. Okay, so then you met Yari, and then she told you about LA Unbound.
Yes.
And what did you think of LA Unbound? Your first season, what was your experience?
Well, the process for the Nutcracker is pretty similar to the way the regular dance seasons are. You know, like you do the auditions, you say which ones you're interested in, that type of thing. But it was definitely like a lot less pieces. I think there was only like 12 pieces or
Okay.
something, because it's also combined with Unbound's little kids.
Oh, I see.
So there was a lot less dances to be a part of, but it was really fun. I did three or 4 pieces during Nutcracker. I did Yari's snow piece, which was super beautiful. I did Christine's contempt hip hop piece, which is a super cool thing to fuse together.
Yeah.
And I think she did great. I did Santi's piece. It was like theatrical. It was a very challenging piece because it was just a different type of movement. I forgot what it's called, but it was a very like grounded, very like pulling yourself, kind of like almost like shaking type of movement. I forgot what the word is,
Okay.
but that was definitely a challenge because I've never danced that kind of style, but it was super cool to do that. I feel like I was in one more piece. Oh, Arabian. I was in Mary Elise's
nice.
Arabian piece, and that was a super fun piece. That one was
I think
more.
I saw pictures.
Yeah,
They
that
look cool.
yeah, that was a super like the movement like was very shapely. So that was a super cool piece, and that was my first one, but I loved it. And so like after that I was like, oh, I have to do Unbound again. Like I have to do like another season and like see what it's like during regular. So yeah,
Yeah,
that's how
it hooks
started.
you pretty.
They get
pretty
you,
fast.
and
I'm
everyone
like,
in Unbound is so great. Like
Yeah.
it's so easy to come back when everyone is so sweet.
everyone's so nice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then in your second season, which was my first season, how many pieces were you in?
6.
Okay, I felt like you were in a lot, but I couldn't remember.
Yeah, I was in
Oh my
6 is the max,
gosh,
and I was
yeah.
in 6, and it was a push. It was okay. It was a lot.
Would you do 6 again?
Not. I think I would if I wasn't going to be starting school. I think since I'm going to be starting school this season and working, like I don't think it would be smart for me to do 6 again.
Yeah.
But I love performing. I love like. I don't know. I love just like, and everyone's such good choreographers. Like
Yeah.
during the showcase at Unbound's auditions, I literally was like, I would do everyone's piece if I could.
You love performing. I have little experience performing. That was like my second time kind of performing. So I did 2 pieces, and I was like, the things my body was doing subconsciously because I was going to perform, like just my throat getting super dry and
Yeah.
just things I didn't know was going to happen because I hadn't really performed much, was interesting. And so I thought it was fascinating. So we had our performance day, we had a dress rehearsal, a tech rehearsal in the morning where we did the whole show in our costumes. And then we had 2 other shows all the same day.
Oh, and blocking. Blocking is all the same morning
and
too.
blocking.
Yeah.
We block everything first, then we run through the whole show, then we have a performance, and then another performance. So we're literally there from like 10 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It felt like a lot. I mean, it was amazing and fun and totally worth it, but it is a lot, and even for me to just be in 2 pieces. And so I knew Kaycee was in a lot of pieces. I didn't know how many, but 6. Yeah, that's a lot.
It was a lot.
And so I remember it was the night performance, so that was the end of the night, and I don't remember. I think I was just walking in the hallway, and all of a sudden I see Kaycee, and she's like on these little steps kind of by herself, and I think you were holding like a wet paper towel to your head.
Something
and
like
something just looked off. I was like, because I mean, anyone could do that if they're just like hot or whatever. But like for some reason, her face, I was like, oh my gosh, is she okay? Like, is she gonna pass out? So I stopped. I was like, Kaycee, are you okay? Like, do you need water? Do you need crackers? Like, and then everyone kind of ended up helping her, and it was crazy because we were about to go on for Jess's piece, which Kaycee has like a big part in.
Yeah.
And she's over here like, we don't know if she's like okay. So yeah, what were you feeling in that moment?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I was in 6 pieces, and it just so happened that I was in 4 pieces the first half to the second half.
Okay.
And in the first half, like right before Jess's, I have a few songs before, and right before that was Britney's. And Britney's is super, super, super cardio, like endurance heavy, like, and like I've been getting through it, but like you just said, like we just went through the whole entire day. I was exhausted at this point. And to note, okay, so I am very prone to canker sores. I have one right now, right here, and it really hurts. And when I have these, it's like really hard to eat sometimes.
Yeah.
So I remember day of show, I think I had like 3 canker sores.
Oh dang.
And so I didn't eat lunch.
No.
I barely ate a breakfast. I think I got a breakfast sandwich on the way to the way to Glendale, and I didn't eat all of it. And then throughout the day, I didn't eat. I think I was just like, it hurt too much, and I was like, okay, like I'm just gonna drink water. I can get through this, like, you know. And like, there's so much adrenaline, and the day moves so fast. Like, I didn't even like think it was gonna be an issue. But by the time it was second show after Britney's, I like basically don't know. I also have asthma, so I was like, I don't know if I'm having an asthma attack or if I'm having an anxiety attack. Like, I don't know. Like, after Britney's, immediately when the lights blacked out, like I was hyperventilating and like shaking really bad, and like I was so dizzy. Like, I genuinely thought I was going to pass out. And the dressing rooms were super hot.
Yeah.
And so I went into the dressing room, like, still, like, breathing really bad. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to get dressed, and then I'll just rest, and, like, I'll be fine. And so I was sitting in the hallway after getting dressed, and I was just, like, not fine. I was, like, getting worse. I was still, like, I was shaking so bad. Like, I literally was, like, starting to cry because I was like, I can't miss Jess's piece.
Yeah.
And, like, you know, and then obviously, like, everyone started helping. Brittany and Danielle and Yari, they were all, like, everyone was being so helpful. And Yari's works in the medical field,
right.
and she was just kind of like, Kaycee, like, your blood sugar's low, because she said she noticed that, like, my nails were, like, completely white. And she was like, you need sugar. So everyone started, like, giving me some food. Like, I think I had, like, gummy bears and stuff like that. Like, and, like, I was drinking water, and, like, I really thought I was gonna, like, black out. Like, it was so scary. And, you know, like, it's something that happens when, you know, you push yourself, and, like, obviously, like, you don't want to disappoint people, but, like, luckily, like, Jess was, like, talking to the people on the side, saying, like, hey, like, can we have, like, as much as possible, like, can we just hold off, like, during that blackout, like, give her a few extra seconds, like, and she kept telling me, like, you know, if you don't want to dance certain pieces, like, because during Jess's piece we come in and out a lot, and she's like, if you don't want to dance this chorus, like, you don't have to, like, she was giving me a lot of options, like, you don't even have to go on if you feel like she's like, your health is priority. So, like, everyone was, like, super sweet about that, but, like, my brain was like, you know, you gotta do it. You gotta get through it. But I felt a little bit better after eating gummy bears, and I think I had goldfish and electrolytes, and I felt a little bit better. But I was, like, really freaking out because I really thought I was gonna pass out. But everyone was so helpful, and everyone was, like, kind of giving me, like, alternative solutions on, like, how we can get through it. And luckily Justice closes Act 1, so after that I just like laid on the ground for that whole intermission, and it was fine. But
and she killed it in that. And didn't you say you thought that was your best
I
one?
actually thought my 7 p.m. was better than the first show, which is crazy.
That was amazing. But I witnessed, like, just everyone's kindness, and especially Jess's. Like, it was her piece, but she was the first one to be like, if you can't do it, or if we need to try to switch the order, or like, not go on yet, or, like, that's what I've seen a lot of that with a lot of people in LA Unbound, just like a lot of kindness that even trumps, like, performance.
Yeah.
Which I think is really cool because at the end of the day, like,
We're
we do
human.
need to, like,
Yeah.
make sure, you know, you don't want to actually go on stage and actually pass out,
Yeah.
like, bang your head or something,
For
you know?
sure.
So, yeah, and you really did look like I thought you looked like you were going to pass out.
Yeah.
And that
I've
was
never
scary.
like shaked like that
Yeah.
so hard before, like from like dancing. So I was
Yeah.
like, geez, like what's going on? Like, it's scary, but it happens. Like I think during one of my PCNs that happened to like one of my dancers, and it's just like, yeah, like in that moment. It's crazy because there are some dance communities where it's like the show must go on, you know,
Yeah.
the show must go on. You have to go up, you know. But I've been like so lucky enough to have like Unbound, and like my dance communities I have gone through growing up like have been very like, no, like your health comes first. And I think like as dancers, especially on show days, like it's hard to remember that because you don't want to disappoint other people. But like I literally cried coming off a stage because, or even on stage, I think I was crying during Jess's piece because everyone was like knew what was going on and was like cheering me on the sides. And then like when I came off, like everyone gave me a hug and they're like, you did so good, and I literally cried. I was like, you guys are so nice. Like, you know, like it was like, you know, just I love the community that Unbound has and like the friends that I've made along the way. So
Yeah,
great.
everyone is so nice, and that's at least Jess's piece makes sense if you're crying because it's emotional piece, so that probably just helped. That's probably why it was your best one.
Yeah,
honestly.
probably.
You had like the literal tears happening. No, for real. So that was like an interesting thing to witness, but it's good to know that you didn't eat because now that makes like a lot more sense. I mean, it made sense anyways because you're in 6 pieces and we were doing it all day. Like,
Yes.
I was feeling a little crazy and I was only in 2 pieces.
Yeah.
But just having to hydrate and eat and like make
fuel
sure
your body properly.
But like now.
Now I know.
Now you know, like, okay, well,
Yeah.
definitely that's important, even though you don't feel like it is in the moment, because like you said, there's just an adrenaline. Like, I was kind of like that too, because 2/3 of the way through that day, I think I was forgetting to eat. Like, I had brought food, and then I was like, I'm not really hungry, though. I'm just, like, hyper and trying to practice the choreo, and then I'm like, okay, wait, I need to, like, sit down and eat something. Yeah, so it's hard, and that's just so funny. You, like, the doctor was giving you, Dr. Yari.
Yeah, Dr. Yari.
Giving you, like, gummy bears and, gummy bears and goldfish.
That's all we had. It was like the
No,
dancer
it
gifts,
works,
you know?
It works, yeah.
Yeah, because I don't know. I should have just brought something else because I knew going into show day that I had canker sores that day. So, like, I should have brought, like, I don't know, a smoothie, something.
Those are the worst. I used to, actually, for a while, I was getting a lot in the back of my mouth. And yeah, it was really hard to
I have one right
eat.
now.
I haven't had, you know, to give you hope, I had quite a few years when I was getting those all the time, and now I never get them.
That's
so
nice.
hopefully that will happen.
Yeah,
for you
hopefully.
too.
I think it's my doctor says it's because I have a lot of like stomach and like GI tract problems, so I
Okay.
guess makes it more me prone to
Oh,
them
really?
or something.
Okay.
So I don't know.
I have some of that too, so maybe
Yeah,
that's why
maybe.
I had it. But yeah, interesting. So anyway, but you would never know if you weren't behind stage experiencing that with her. You would never have known because she just did amazing. And I think the 7 p.m. was the one they got all the videos from. Right?
Yeah, that's
So,
the one that's
yeah.
on YouTube. So if you watch it,
Yeah, you can know. Now I'm gonna watch it and zoom in. Like, where is she crying? No, I'm just kidding. But you can. Yeah. So that's amazing. Wow. And then knowing that you do that show or did that show with now you're done with
I'm
school,
done, yeah.
so you're not going to be in that group anymore.
No, I think after mine, I was like very fulfilled with my time in like
Yeah.
the club. So
So you feel like it was like full circle because you got to run the whole thing at the end.
yes, yeah, and it was like really like a good closing chapter, way to close the chapter with, because I was in FASA since I joined CSUN, which was during COVID, so I was joining during like their online meetings.
Oh,
so
wow.
it felt really nice to like go from that and see like PCN grow like post COVID and then close it like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, you have whenever I have an LA Unbound person, we always end up talking so much about it because there's
Yeah.
always like so many fun things and stories and stuff. But yeah. So where did you grow up and how did you get started in dance?
Okay, so I was born in the Philippines.
Oh, you were.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm actually adopted, and I
Oh.
moved to the U.S. when I was like 3 or 4.
Did you move because you were adopted by someone in the U.S.?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
My mom is actually my blood aunt.
Oh.
Yeah, which is very common in Philippine culture to adopt within your own family.
Oh,
It's
wow.
kind of like, I don't know, it's so that way you can still know your family and
Yeah,
stuff
that's
like that.
really cool.
So I moved here when I was like 3 or 4, I think. And I started dancing when I was around like 6 or 7. I started with just like jazz and like tap and a little bit of ballet. But growing up, I think I live in Azusa, and I still live in Azusa, and I've lived in Azusa my whole life ever since then, other than when I went to college. But I went to a studio called Impact. That was my first, actually, that was my second studio. The first studio I went to closed down like after a few months.
Oh no.
And so I moved to Impact, and I was there for a few years. But honestly, growing up, I had really inconsistent dance training. I really wish I didn't, but it's not like, not that my family grew up with like little money. It's just that my mom is really tight on money,
Okay.
like because she wants to be. And so she just didn't think like dance was something she wanted to like keep paying for. Not
It's
'cause
expensive.
It is expensive, you know. And I'm also the type of person to like try anything once. So dance was like my first love, but I also did a lot of like theater, musical theater,
Okay.
choir. I did cheer. I did a little bit of volleyball. Like I did a lot of different things, but I always came back to dance because dance was like my first love. And so knowing that now, I wish I could have like kept up with my training all the way through, because now I feel like, not that I don't think I'm a good dancer, I just think that I wish I had stayed more consistent and I would have been stronger now, because I do have dance goals that I'd like to achieve. But I feel like now it's like harder to train when you're an adult, you know, to try
Yeah.
and get there. But yeah,
What are your dance goals that you're trying to achieve?
I really, really, really want to be a Laker girl.
Oh, I didn't know that was your goal.
Yes,
That's cool.
I go to some pro cheer classes, and I teach dance too now at, in Azusa or in Covina with a high school friend who owns a studio. So I teach dance there, and sometimes I teach some pom classes and
Nice.
stuff like that. But I actually have to submit my self tape for the Laker girls this weekend.
Oh wow.
But I haven't even finished choreographing my piece. So I'm just gonna probably like touch up like an old pom routine I've choreographed in the past. But yeah, that's my big dance goal. I would also love it like to be a dancer in a Disney parade.
Oh my gosh.
I just think
That's
I
so
have
fun.
like the personality
Yeah,
for
yeah,
it,
yeah.
you know? And I think I love Disney, so that would be nice. But I don't think I'm there yet. Like if I were to audition now, which I am, I don't know, like, again, this might be a confidence thing. Like, I don't know if I'd get there, but I would like to keep training and hopefully get there, because there are a lot of Laker girls who are still like in their 30s and stuff too. So I don't think it's too late for me. I don't think it's ever too late for anyone to achieve their dance goals. So that's kind of where I'm at right now.
Yeah, and it's so great that you're auditioning, because maybe you'll get it.
Yeah.
Or if you don't, it's okay, because every audition is more experience, and
exactly.
it's growing you for the next. You're always going to get better at auditions every time you audition.
Yeah.
So
Laker girls is like ideal, but I'd be open to like any NFL or NBA team. I tried out for the Rams last year.
Okay.
That was a crazy experience.
Was it?
Yeah. There's like 500 plus girls at open call audition.
Wow.
And then so Laker Girls is the only one that does a video submission first, because I think they are like the most like
It's
well
too many
known.
people,
Yeah.
yeah.
But I know Clippers does an open audition during the summer that I probably want to go to. So yeah, but I know Clippers is also a lot more hip hop, like hip hop type of vibe.
Okay.
And I like more of the jazz.
okay.
Yeah,
yeah,
which is
yeah.
why I like Laker Girls and the Rams so much.
Yeah. When did that start becoming your goal, or like what drew you to that goal?
When I was younger, I had an older cousin who was a Laker girl. So I've actually wanted to be a Laker girl probably my whole life.
Aw.
Yeah. It would be great to achieve that, you know? Like I would love that. It's
Are they retired from it now?
Yeah,
Did
I
she
think-
give you tips?
yeah, she lives in San Francisco, but I think when you're on NFL or NBA teams, you have a max of 3 years to be on.
Oh.
Yeah, like you're not allowed to have any
didn't
more
realize that.
seasons. Yeah.
Okay.
So she was one in 2003. She was a Laker girl, and so she told me about it. And my parents knew I was dancing. They're like, "Oh, your cousin was a." So ever since then, I was like, "I'm gonna be a Laker girl. I'm gonna be a Laker girl."
that's so cute.
Yeah, and I love cheer. Like I love the energy of cheer and poms. Like in high school, growing up. So I actually think that's probably like more my specialty. Like nowadays, I do a lot of contemporary fusion, whatever. But I think the energy that like pom and jazz brings is like more suitable to my personality. Like
Okay.
I feel like I can bring out a lot more of like my vibe when I like dance those styles.
Yeah, that's interesting. Oh my gosh. I mean, you did so many different styles in LA Unbound
Yeah,
as well.
yeah.
So I've mostly seen you do contemporary. It seems like you post more contemporary.
Yeah.
But
I
that's
think,
fun to
yeah, I
learn.
don't know. I think I love the emotion of contemporary, but when it comes to like what like I maybe naturally fall into, it's probably more jazz or musical theater too. Like Alex's piece this season, I feel like everyone always told me when they saw me do that piece, they were like, I feel like this is like your niche. Like I feel like you're just so yourself when you're dancing. I was like, it totally is, because it was more like jazz, upbeat and stuff like that. But yeah.
Yeah. And you sing too.
Oh no.
Didn't you say you did choir?
I did. I was vice president of my choir team.
Wow, you're always like the president or the coordinator.
I know. I love organization. That's
Okay,
why.
okay.
But I did choir for a couple of years in high school, but I wasn't like. I'm not a really great singer. I love singing and I love like musical theater and stuff like that. But every time it came to choir stuff, I was always like the dance captain. So that's the only reason why like I grew in choir, was just because like again dance was like involved in it because it was show choir.
Okay.
So yeah.
Wow.
Singing though wasn't very great.
Now, when you were having these goals your whole life, did you always imagine like achieving those goals with also having some sort of other like administrative, marketing, entertainment, like regular job?
Mm-hmm.
Or did you have a dream of like just dancing all the time?
No, I think I always knew that actually growing up I always wanted to be a nurse, and that
Oh.
only changed once I got to college. But I kind of I don't know. I feel like I'm a busybody naturally, and I'm so used to like putting myself in so many things. Like I've never like been like, this is my one goal. This is like the one thing I have to do. Like I just have to do marketing, or I just have to do dance. My brain has always just been like, you can do everything. You can do anything like you want to do. Like if you put your heart and your effort into it, you can achieve everything that
Yeah.
you want to.
Nice.
And I stand by that.
That's funny because you obviously have a lot of confidence in that way, but
But
then you
in
go to a
God-
dance class and you're like, oh.
No, yeah, definitely. And again, I think that's just because like my dance training was so on and off growing up, you know. So I go into it knowing like some of these girls are gonna be like exquisite, and that's another huge problem. I always like, oh, but she's so good, you know. It's like a comparing thing, but that's like again a confidence thing, and it's something I'm working on and I've gotten a lot better at over the years. But I think that's what really like, I just get so impressed by other people. I'm like, oh my god, you're amazing. I'm like, oh my god, I'm so
No, you're so beautiful to watch, and I think, you know, even though we're kind of joking about your confidence being low, but at the same time, you are going to the classes.
Yeah.
And so I think that's the difference. It's like we all face like fears, but it's like, are we facing them or are we like backing away? And it seems like you're like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
You know, you did a lot of pieces that were challenging in LA Unbound, but you're like, I'm going to do
Yeah.
it. Okay. And you're like, I guess I'm going to take this class. I
Yeah.
guess I'm going to be on this podcast.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
yeah,
I think I'm naturally so anxious about a lot of things, but at the end of the day, even not just dance, like just like life stuff, I'm like, oh my god, I'm so scared. I'm gonna do it anyways though, because like I know like if I try, something will come out of it, you know, and like that's all you can do. It's just like try. Even if you're like the best person in there or you like suck or whatever, like at least you tried, and that's like enough to me. Like in my brain, like at least I'm putting myself out there and continuing to go to classes, especially because my mom, she's not like unsupportive of me dancing, but she just doesn't understand why I'm still dancing when I'm not getting paid or like, you know, some stuff like that. So it's kind of hard because I still live with my parents, and she's like, why are you still going to dance class? Like, why are you like performing? Like, why don't you just like, I don't know, like stay home, like blah, blah, blah. And it's not, she still goes to all my performances and she loves them, but she just doesn't get it. And so sometimes like that's in my head too. She's like, why are you doing that if you're not going to get paid? Like, what's going to come out of this? Like, blah, blah, blah.
when she says that, what do you say to her?
I'm usually just like, I don't know, Mom, like I love dancing. Like, and I think I probably shouldn't have said this. Me and my mom got in an argument about it one time, but I was like, I just don't think you're passionate about something the way I'm passionate about dance. And that's like, you know, when you really love something, like you're gonna come back to it. Like that's like, you can't help, like I can't help it that like my body, like I just like, I should just go do it. Like I love to do it because I love to do it, and that's how everyone's passions goes, you know. And I don't think she has something like that equivalent to her, so it's kind of hard for her to like meet me eye to eye on and see things on that level. But I always tell her, like, I'm gonna go, like, I love to dance, and, like, I want to be a Laker girl one day. Like, I want to, like, keep doing this until my body, like, won't let me dance anymore, because I just love to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's really true. I think it's hard when somebody, people that don't dance, maybe if they have something else, like you said, if they have an equivalent of something they're really passionate about, but otherwise I think it's people, I don't know, I think about people in, like, I'm from the Midwest, and I think about, not that this is everybody there, but I think about people like that, and they're just like, yeah, you just go to college, you get a job, you get married, have kids, like, I don't know, you do your job, you come home, you make dinner, and we're all out here like,
No.
I'm gonna keep chasing my dreams, I'm gonna keep chasing this thing I love, but I think but I think it's a beautiful thing how everyone's just made differently. Yeah. But it's sometimes hard to see when you don't have the same.
For sure.
And do you feel like most of your friends are like dance friends out here because of that passion, or do you feel like you have different types of like friends?
I think I have a lot of different types of friends, probably because I was so involved during my university days. And when you're in like a club, everyone is like different majors, different like backgrounds and stuff like that. And the one thing like in that community that brought us together was like our Filipino American identity. Right. So like that's where a lot of my friends come. And then my hometown friends, which is like Azusa Glendora, all of us like met when we were still in high school. So we're also different. So honestly, nowadays, my only dance friends are Unbound people or people from the studio I teach at. Okay. So that's really it. But I feel like I have a lot of like communities to come to.
Yeah. It sounds like you have a lot of friends and communities. Do you feel like you have time for friends? You're like, I have a lot of friends, but
yeah, that's especially because like I've just been enjoying like my inside, like my introvert time, you know, so it's hard, but like I think that's part of growing up, you know, is like understanding like I'm always gonna be there for you even if like I don't see you all the time or like I can't show up, but like you know I love you and like I'll support you in any ways that I can. And part of growing up is that understanding that people's schedules and times and commitments change as time goes on, you know.
Yeah. I think for me it's like the friends that understand that we've been able to keep like a friendship for a long time.
Yeah,
because
definitely.
Just everybody's lives are always changing, getting busy, especially as we're all growing up. And so but it's great if you can maintain friendships even if it's like this friend I see all the time because we're doing dance stuff together and other things together. And this friend, every 3 months, we have like a 3-hour phone call because we miss each other. Like, there's just different kinds. But, yeah, well, I'm trying to think if there is anything else I like really wanted to ask you because I feel like we kind of went through your story.
Yeah. Oh, what else is... Oh, at my studio, though.
Oh, yeah.
This was my first time choreographing for competition.
Oh,
I choreographed for a jazz funk solo for one of my kids, and she got first overall at her Showstoppers competition.
That's amazing.
So that's super cool. Yari also choreographed a solo. Oh my gosh, she choreographed a contemporary solo for one of the girls, and I think they also placed. And now both of our kids are going to nationals.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
In July. So that's super exciting.
Wow. Yeah. And you've been teaching at that studio for how long?
It just opened up last year, so I've been teaching there since November, December.
Yeah. Oh, nice. And did you just apply for that, or how did you get that?
Well, my friend over there, her name is Elle. We danced together in high school and college.
Okay.
At our community college. Because I did some shows over there, and so I followed her, and she was just posting about how she was opening up a studio, and I messaged her. Mostly, actually, I was like, hey, because I was jobless at the time, and I was like, hey, like, if you ever need help with, like, marketing your studio, like, I'd be happy to help, you know, like, if you have time or whatever. And then we got to talking, and she goes, like, do you want to teach? Like, I was like, do I want to teach? Yeah, of course I want to teach. I was like, because my first thought was marketing, because I was just, like, in a job headspace. Yeah. But, so now I kind of do that as a side hustle, but we're off season right now, so I'm not teaching currently, but just doing privates, like, for competition. But before I was teaching jazz and jazz funk once a week over there, so that's cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Wow, you do a lot.
Yeah, I just, like, my brain just wants to experience everything, and I just, like, think there's so much to experience, so, like, why not?
Yeah. Do you find all of these things very, like, fulfilling? Like, you're like, this is my purpose.
Yeah.
To, like, teach kids, come up with choreography,
Oh,
dance.
yeah, definitely teaching kids. I actually wanted to be a teacher when I switched out of nursing, but my mom was like, not going to support me if I went into teaching.
Just like regular teaching?
Yes, like
at
regular
school.
teaching. So to be able to teach dance to kids kind of like, I guess it checks that box
Yeah,
for me,
it's like
you
an
know?
outlet.
Yeah, it is an outlet because I love kids and I think I have the personality, like, you know, manage and like get along and with children. So it's really nice being able to teach kids, especially like seeing them grow, because some of these kids are so young too. So you see them grow fast. Like kids pick up choreo and pick up dancing so fast, and so to see them get better is so insane. Because I've only been teaching this kid for like 7 months. The girl I choreographed for, her name is Maddie, and she has grown so much in just these like 6-7 months.
Wow.
And she's like, and she placed and like got first overall. And like I don't think her and I you know, we had a rough start because it was my first time choreographing for a competition and stuff like that, but she like practiced so much, and you can tell she just wants to get better. And so like to see that in kids, like see them like start developing that
Yeah.
passion, oh my gosh, it's so fulfilling. It's so cute. I love it so much.
That sounds amazing. Oh my goodness.
Would you ever teach?
I want to teach.
Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, I've taught a few pop-up beginner jazz. I kind of like teaching beginner jazz to adult beginners because I started as an adult and I took a basic jazz class like for a couple years, like twice a week. And that teacher was kind of an inspiration to me of how, because I grew so much from that. And I just love teaching people that kind of, because I didn't grow up with like super consistent training my whole life. I started kind of later. So I just have like a soft spot for people that start later.
Yeah.
And just wanting to teach them from the beginning, especially because I don't have like 20 years of experience. So it's like, oh, let me teach someone who has like less experience than me. But I don't know. So I've taught a few pop-ups. I would like to teach regularly. I could definitely like rent a space and just do it. But I'm trying to figure out what to focus on right now because I do like to choreograph, and that's something I want to grow at. I actually just finished choreographing for my friend's wedding of their bridesmaid dance.
Oh, how cute.
And in this case, it was like, these are not people that like dance all the time or take classes. So it was kind of cool because it was like I was forced to come up with, you know, kind of like beginner jazz choreo for them. And that was like a really good challenge. I just finished that. I had to make tutorial videos because they're in Seattle.
Oh, wow.
I'm going there as well, but so that was like a really fun. Actually, just this morning they were sending me videos of themselves like learning it, and it was like it is so fulfilling to see people do your choreo, even if it's like. I mean, it's not like I'm like, oh my gosh, it's the best choreo, but just to have come up with something and like see people do it and having fun.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my gosh, I love watching you guys. It's so cute. And like, I got actually so much joy seeing those videos this morning. I was like, I need to get back to teaching because I really like it. Yeah. I know. I mean, there's different, I've thought of different ways. But I don't know if right now I should still keep it as just a pop-up here or there because it takes me a little bit to come up with choreo because I'm not used to. I feel like the teachers that are doing it every week, they're like, okay, and I just made this up yesterday, or I made it up this morning, or I made it up in my car, and I'm like, okay, it takes me like a little longer than that. And so I think the way that you struggle with confidence, like going into new class, it's kind of how I am with doing choreography. Even though every time I make up choreography, I like love it and I have fun, and I even have thought about doing contemporary, but I have more experience like recently in contemporary, but originally in jazz.
Yeah, me too.
So, and then I did take a lot of ballet too, just to kind of back up my jazz, but it was more in jazz. But I absolutely love it. Yeah, I mean, if I could just do that, I mean, of course I love doing the podcast and I love writing, and those are my passions, but yeah, teaching. And when I was young, I wanted to be a teacher as well, a regular teacher.
Yeah.
And actually, I wanted to be a teacher. And then I was 9 years old, and I was friends with this girl, and I was at her house, and her mom said to me, like, oh, Tracy, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I said, a teacher. And then she said, oh, Laura wants to be an actress. And I was like, I didn't know you could just like want to be an actress. So once, because we're like in Chicago, the Chicago area, like out, like not nowhere near California, and I found out like my close friend like wants to be an actress, and I'm like, well, I mean, I want to be an actress too.
You're like, I didn't know that was an option
I know.
to want.
I was like, who doesn't want to be an actress? Are we allowed to want to be that? Like literally, that was literally my thought process. So after that moment, I was like, well, I'm changing mine. I want to be an actress too. So literally I changed. I didn't want to be a teacher anymore. I started taking acting class with that girl. I started going on auditions when I was like young in Chicago.
Oh my gosh, what?
Yeah, and then I really wanted to be an actress, and then ended up also being encouraged in college to do something more practical. So kind of stopped doing it after high school, and then after college I took a random job, but it happened to be in Northern California. So didn't move out here for acting, but like I did some different type of work. It's a really long story that I'm probably gonna write a book about one day. We don't have time for it now, but I ended up like realizing I still wanted to do acting, and ended up eventually moving to LA to pursue acting. So I did that for quite a few years, pursued it. I wouldn't say I achieved it, but when I look back, I'm like, I actually did. I mean, I achieved a lot of goals in it, but eventually realized I wasn't as passionate. I think I'm more passionate about writing. I would even probably rather direct something or come up with my own play or something versus just like being a part in these random, like, I don't know. I wasn't always passionate about the script and things like that. But anyways, that was a long tangent. But yeah. But then when I gave up acting and then got a regular job. And then I had a regular schedule that allowed me to take dance classes more regularly. And that's when, during my corporate job, I just started taking a couple a week. Now I'm taking 3 a week. Now I'm taking 6 a week. Now I'm taking 10 a week.
Oh my gosh, wow.
So I got really into dance.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, I want to choreograph. I want to teach. And I got so passionate and just started meeting all these dancers. And then I felt like God just changed my whole life.
Oh, that's
so
amazing.
now I just mostly love dance. But there's like a little piece of my heart that's like, in like once in a while, I'm like, maybe I'll do acting again one day.
Yeah.
But maybe I'll, in my like 70s, I'll be like, get a little part in something.
Yeah.
But anyway.
I loved acting too. When I grew up,
Really?
I did a lot of theater growing up in high school and middle school and stuff. And I feel like it's a lot harder to do it for fun as an adult than it is to dance as an adult. Like, you know, like you can kind of take
That
some
makes
classes
sense.
and stuff, and like you can like spaces like LA Unbound, and then like at college I had like like space to dance there, like dance teams and stuff. But when you're an adult, you're out of college, I feel like there's not a lot of like, oh, I just want to be in a play.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to.
I know. I think you probably could find like a play or something.
I've tried.
But even the plays, because when I first got here, I mean, you're doing plays with people you're very passionate about pursuing acting as your career. It's, when you're in LA, it's not usually like just for fun.
Yeah.
And then I am in the Screen Actors Guild, so
Oh, cool.
there's some rules about that. Even now, it's like sort of can't do non-union work. It's like there's some like loopholes to that. It's a little confusing, but yeah. And then plays have like a different union, and so it's a little bit. But if you're in, there's so many weird rules about it that I kind of was like, I don't know if I'm ever gonna like do this for fun. And now it's kind of confusing to me.
Yeah.
So, but if anyone wants to give me a job, I'm looking for one. So
Hire.
cast me in your movie and I'll be there. Anyway, well, this is pretty much, I feel like we talked about tons of things, and this was so fun to hear your story.
Thank you.
Was there anything else that you were just like, oh, we really wanted to talk about this and we didn't?
Oh my gosh. Damn.
You-
I know, I'm like looking at your
my
paper.
questions that I didn't ask you.
I had actually just like a recent dance opportunity come up.
Oh, yeah?
I have a friend, he makes music, and he asked me to choreograph for his music video. So that's really
cool.
exciting. He's like a new artist, but he's such a, I can't name drop yet, but I'm super excited about that because he's like, oh, if you could choreograph, and he's like, you could dance in it too. I was like,
That's amazing. Oh my gosh.
I love
the
just,
community.
yeah,
and
the
just
community, like, just like, you know.
connect. I know does seem to be how it works. You know, you're connecting, you're building friendships, and
Yeah.
then people are like, oh, I want to use you for
Yeah,
this.
exactly.
Or whatever.
So that's a cool thing.
That's really cool.
I'm excited for the next Unbound season.
Yeah.
I'm excited for life. Like, I don't know. Like, everything. I don't know. There's always something you can do, and I'm excited for all of it.
Yeah. Did you ever have an injury or anything that took you out of dance for a while?
Oh my gosh, yes. During my time at CSUN, I was supposed to do the show called Kinesis, which is a similar thing to like, you know, like a bunch of dances that perform. It's a showcase or whatever. But I had a solo in one of them. I had like a solo in a group piece, and I broke my foot.
Oh no.
Yeah, I broke my foot in 2022, and I was in a boot for a while, and they cut the whole dance because of it.
Aw.
And I was like, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize because it was like a very small group.
Okay.
And so they were just kind of like, it was more like the choreographer was just like, okay, well, like he tried changing it up and then he couldn't, but that took me out for a while, and getting back into dance after that was pretty hard.
Wow.
And it's on my foot, so the bone like it's like poking out still because it's not like they put it back together. It was more just that new bone grew in between. So now that little bone is like still like poking out of my foot.
Wow. Is that now? Does it affect your dancing now? Do you have to kind of think about that, or?
Yeah, it does sometimes, because sometimes it'll just like if I'm stomping a lot on this foot, like it does hurt there, like, and it never gets like bad, like it'll go away after a while, but it does feel like more sensitive.
Okay.
Like, yeah, something to look out for.
Wow. But besides that, did you ever have any moments of like discouragement, like, I don't want to do dance anymore, or anything happen, or just you always have liked it and it's never really changed?
Yeah, I think I've always liked it. It's never changed. It's more like other things would take my attention away from it, but I always come back to it. Yeah.
Amazing. Wow.
Yeah.
And it seems like you're just getting so many opportunities
I know.
as you're about to like go back to school and a new Unbound season, and it's crazy.
I know. I'm going to control myself, and I'm only going to limit myself to like 2 days of practice during Unbound season, hopefully. So whether that's 2 dances or 4 dances, depending on it, you know, like how the schedule works out. But, yeah.
That's a good way of looking at it. Instead of just being like only 2 pieces, you're like only 2 like nights.
Yeah,
so
only 2 nights.
If there's 2 rehearsing that night, because a lot of times with LA Unbound, a lot of people rehearse right after each other at the same place, so you can like, you know, like kill 2 birds with 1 stone or whatever, and just do 2 rehearsals at once. Wow, crazy. It was so cool. You're just doing so much, and I love it. It's so exciting.
Thank you.
And thanks for taking time. I guess this is like a little bit the calm before the storm in your life, so you had a moment.
Definitely. I'm excited to start school, but I'm nervous because it's going to change a lot, and like if I do happen to start a new job, you know, I just feel like I'm in a little bit of a transition phase right now, so I don't know what that's going to mean for my dance career, but I will always come back to it, like you said, you know?
Yeah. It seems like it's always going to be there for you, and I don't think you're going to stop anytime soon. If you have to rearrange things, then maybe, but I think you're just going to keep going and keep getting better, and you're a gorgeous dancer.
Thank you.
I thank you just for sharing more and for being so open, and I'm sure a lot of you could relate and also be inspired. So thank you guys for watching or listening, and we will see you next time.
Thank you. Bye. Woo! I just realized I haven't looked forward like once. I was like this the whole time.
That's okay. You're just talking to me the whole time, the one that matters. I'm just kidding.